Today we will discuss about the phylum Cnidaria, one of the fascinating and colorful phylum Cnidaria. Earlier it was called Cylindrata, and afterwards the phylum Cylindrata split it up into phylum Cnidaria and Tonophora. In the phylum Cnidaria, which is under your core A1, and paper is 1011 unit 1. So let us continue. The Cnidaria term comes from the Greek word "nide", means nettle, and area means like, nettle like. Those organisms having nettle like tentacles. So which of the organism are found under phylum Cnidaria? You can see sea anemone, coral, sea pen, sea plume, hydra, jellyfish, and Portuguese manophor. All these animals are under phylum Cnidaria. So we have to learn the general characters and classification up to class of this phylum. So if you see the position cladogram after sponge, Cnidarians are there, which shows radial symmetry, and the phylum includes 11,000 species of animal, colorful animals. Most of them are marine, except few freshwater species. And this class phylum divided into 5 classes: Anthozoa, Scyphozoa, Staurozoa, Cubozoa, and Hydrozoa. Let us see which are those organisms. And first we will see the general character. Aquatic, all those are aquatic animals. Most of them are marine, and a few of them are freshwater animals like Hydra, and few jellyfishes are under jellyfish. Here you may see the Hydra, one of the freshwater species. These are the, although not microscopic, but not easily visible. If you see the leaf in the underground water, in the leaf there are minute hydras hanging in the leaf. You see 25 to 30 millimeter in length. If you see the section of hydra, you can see the bud and hydra attached in the substratum. As we see the general character, it has radial symmetry. So you can cut the animal in equal halves in several, more than one plane. That's why they are said it is radial symmetry. That jellyfish, it is also showing radial symmetry. Acoelomate. These organisms are acoelomate. There is no coelomic cavity. There is in fact no true mesoderm. So these are acoelomate animal, only having two dermal layers, ectoderm and endoderm. Outermost epidermis is this ectoderm, and inner gastrodermis. And in between these two layers, we have a gel-like layer which is called mesoglia or mesohyle. Some members of the phylum can live up to thousands of years. There is a, you can say these are immortal. Some of the individuals are immortal. They can just undergo regeneration. They just undergo number increasing without death. Jellyfish are the longest animal. They can grow up to 9 feet diameter and 120 feet long tentacles. Some colonial forms can grow up to 150 feet. As I said, that very ancient and fossil records are there. They are having hard parts in their body, which you can see afterwards. That coral reefs are made up of these fascinating anthozoans, that is Cnidarians. We have the fossil records up to 650 million years ago, and probably the first animal which comes to the definite shape and which has the capability to swim in the water. If you see the body structure, it shows polymorphism. That is more than two morph or shape in the structure. They are polymorphic, and we will see later on the distinguished feature of each morph. And here we will just see the two zooids, polyps and medusa. The two morph, polyp and medusa, some are called vegetatively reproducing and others are sexually reproducing zooids of the same species. General structure, here you can see they are varying complexity is there. Stolonate, Coenosaur, Fruticose, and if we see the budding pattern, they are fixed length buds, they are having axial polyps. There are the different types of structural forms. Now see the polyps. These polyps, they have the tubular body with mouth directed upwards, whereas the medusa, the mouth will be directed downwards. The polyp, mouth upwards with surrounded by tentacles, and only have a small amount of mesoglia. Another thing is that in case of polyps, only mesoglia, little amount of mesoglia, but in case of medusa, you see the large amount of mesoglia, that is middle layer. The polyps are sessile, that is, they don't have the capability of to move, they don't have the power of locomotion, whereas medusa, we have the power of locomotion, they can move, they can swim in the water. So we describe the medusa. Here you can see the mesoglia is thick as compared to polyp. They have tentacles downwardly directed, they used to swim like this, and mouth also downwardly directed. They are umbrella like. There is alteration of generation, polyp to medusa, medusa to polyp in the life cycle. One of the most important feature of that phylum is that the name Cnidaria shows. It has nide, nettle or stinging cell in present in the tentacles. These cells are actually a modified kind of cell encircled by the lid, covered by a lid, and which can protrude like a whip. When stimulated, when excited, the whip protruded out, which also have that tentacles, secondary tentacles, which can attack the predator, which they use to protect themselves from the prey. Then they have the paralyzing toxin in them, which they use to protect themselves from other predators, also to entangle the prey. If we see the magnified view of the tentacle, here you can see the cnidocytes, and if we again enlarge the cnidocyte, a particular cell, stinging cell, nematocyst, then when excited, the nematocyst protrude the tentacle or whip, which you can see they have the another tentacles. Another picture of that cnidocyte with spines. And one most important thing is that those stinging cell, they used to inject a paralyzing toxin, not the electricity like other stinging organism or that electricity stinge. They used to inject paralyzing toxin, which paralyzes the small animals, or in case of larger organism, it will cause damage or injury in the body, which we'll see later. The penetrating, the stinging cells are of different types: penetrating type, volvulent type, glutinant type. So varieties are there. This is an electron micrographic view of the stinging cell. Here you can see the injury imparted by the tentacles of a jellyfish. Levels of organization. There, if you see the organization, they have the tissue level organization, don't have the organ level organization. There is no organization, organ formation. If you see the feeding, they are carnivorous and predatory habit, feeds on microscopic organism, planktons, nectons, and in some cases small fishes and other aquatic organism. With the help of tentacles, they used to paralyze the prey and then inject in the hypostome or mouth-like structure. The food digestive capacity is extra cellular digestion partially, and further digestion takes place in the intercellular, and complete digestive tract is absent in them because they don't have any anus. Whatever they used to take as food, they will digest it, whatever the possible, and then remaining part they will regurgitate, they will vomit out. So there is no anus, only mouth is there. So digestive system is incomplete digestion. Here you can see one hydra taking one phytoplankton, zooplankton as food. Hydra is taking a zooplankton as food. Here again another jellyfish entrangled a fish which will paralyze them in this, and then he will take the fish. Another sea animal taking fish Here you can see the half ingested fish in the sea animal. If we see the respiratory system of these cnidarians, there is no distinct respiratory organ. It takes place the respiration by diffusion or simple exchange of gaseous with the surrounding water. Internal transport, there is movement of the food particles and all through simple diffusion process. Excretion, there is also no excretory organ, distinct organ. It takes place by simple diffusion. If you see the nervous system, there is a response. The cnidarians slightly developed then proliferans. They have nerve network throughout the body and nerve being surrounding the mouth. Here you see the nerve network. There is no distinct central nervous system or cephalization. Only nerve network covers the whole body and encircles the hypostome. But those nerve cells are modified into sensory cell, chemoreceptor, thigmoreceptor, photoreceptor, and statocyst. Extremely developed in case of cubozoa. One class we will see where the photoreceptory organ is kind of simple eye with different kinds of lens. Extremely developed in case of cnidarians. Jellyfish. Here you can see the jellyfish, and they are having the properties of bioluminescence. And here you can see this guy, Osamu Shimomura, Japanese scientist. He got Nobel Prize in the year of 2008 for the discovery of this green fluorescence protein from this jellyfish, Equoria victoria. So it's a good invention because for he got the Nobel Prize. If you see the locomotion, as I said, they are sessile. In case of polyp and in case of medusa, they have the locomotion, they have the swimming capability with the help of velum. And in case of polyp, there is an exception. If we see the hydra, freshwater individual, the hydra can walk, hydra can somersault with the help of tentacles. This is the exception. Otherwise, polyps, they can't move, they are sessile. Here you can see the somersaulting or walking of the hydra. Reproduction. If we see the reproductive system of these cnidarians, you will see both type of reproductive system. Asexual reproductive system, budding is the method. In case of polyp and few medusa, they reproduce asexually. Then you will see that regeneration is there. If you will see the pedal laceration, another kind of asexual reproduction in case of cnidarians. In case of sexual reproduction, this is budding of hydra, this is regeneration in case of hydra. In case of sexual reproduction, we will see that gamete produced by medusas, male gamete, female gamete produced by medusas, they will fertilize, external fertilization will be there, and development is indirect through one larva stage called planula larva, which will modify and produce another polyp. Again, the polyp will reproduce the medusa. If we see the ecological role, is one of the important species in the marine environment, which will create an environment for the other species. The predator, there is a relationship of prey-predator relationship. There is ecological balance, biogeochemical cycle, biological cycle they regulate. Neurotoxin produced by them is a matter of research and which is undergoing research work. Coral, this coral stone, gemstone we use for jewelries, building, reefs, and another thing is that coral reef, that cnidarians establish the coral reef, which are the enormous vast reef upon which the human habitation is there. If you see the Fiji island, if you see the Great Barrier Reef, Australia, these are the dead or living byproduct of those cnidarians that establish the coral reef. This coral reef protects the coastline. The symbiotic relationship of these cnidarians with other organisms was also helpful, also significant in case of cnidarians. Important parts of food chain is that they are taken up by other organisms and they used to control some prey animals. Economic importance, they are also at the same time they are economically important because the jellyfish in the different countries, people used to eat jellyfish, both fresh, raw cooked, or in the form of pickle. Cnidarians are lethal to humans. Extremely rare cases are there where Cnidaria kills an human. Otherwise, Cnidaria just cause impart, and the main cause of death is that because of the fear, because of the absence of oxygen cylinder or oxygen content in the cylinder. Otherwise, Cnidarian used to pharmaceuticals, commodities, and the corals used to bone replacement. So today, this will be the few symbiotic relationship, and with this I'll conclude the general characteristics of this phylum, and hope we will see meet in the next class with classification. Thank you.